Morning folks, this is a cool but sunny and calm morning in Bayeux in France, Normandy, and I'll come to visit some of the comrades, some of the Green Howard comrades of my dad, just to pay my respects. And there's one particular group I'm going to pick up today. But before I do that, I just want to say, if you ever get the chance to come here, it's absolutely fabulous. Can you see how nicely groomed and tended the graves are? Look at how straight that line is. It's absolutely fabulous. It's just wonderful. And there's grave after grave after grave. Unbelievable, but they've all been immaculately tended. So here I am in Bayeux in Normandy, and I'm Paul Cheel. I'm going to tell you a story now about a cornfield. My dad was caught ambushed on the 11th of June, shortly after D-Day. There was a particular piece of action they had to get involved in, and they were walking across a cornfield. And I'm now going to just read from his book as I pan across the gravestones of the comrades who were killed in the incident, because they're all buried together. So I may interrupt it to talk about particular individuals, because this guy, T. Ferguson, he was a CSM, Company Sergeant Major, and he was killed in this incident. He'd only been promoted to CSM the day before. But on the 11th of June, C Company of the 5th Green Howards was moving forward in our usual extended line across fields, and upon reaching a cornfield, continued to walk through the corn, which was waist high, until we were halfway across. Then all hell let loose upon us from trees 100 yards ahead, among which were snipers and machine gun posts. The snipers were after our NCOs and officers, and they were very successful too. It happened so suddenly, and the first officer to be killed by a shot in the head was our company commander, Captain Chambers. He'd taken over in charge of C Company on the beach when Captain Lynn was killed. We also lost a Norwegian officer, Lieutenant Reining. He was attached to us, and we called him Norgie, a first-class officer and a gentleman. Several NCOs and other ranks were also victims of the attack, including Major Honeyman and Corporal Alexander killed, with Major Young, Bert Hall and a score of others were wounded. CSM Ferguson was shot through the throat. It was quite a nightmare while it lasted. The angels must have been looking after me that day. The remainder of the company dropped down into the corn and crawled out to escape. We were the lucky ones. We could also easily have been killed. Well, we're about halfway through these lads. You can see all the dates are 11th of June. I hope you can read the names. That's A. Wright, F. Carroll, Todd. That was Corporal Gregory. Dad specifically mentioned him in his memoir. Sergeant Dawson, and that's the lot. Just one or two I wanted to mention. Yeah, Dawson, he got the military medal for bravery in Sicily, and he was wounded. He was shot in the eye and blinded in one eye, and he wanted to come back with his comrades on D-Day, and sadly he was killed in this incident. So how tragic is that? And Captain Chambers is the one that on the beach when Captain Lynn was standing next to the tank and he got shot dead, Captain Chambers took over and he urged the troops to get off the beach, and he said, "Off the beach, lads, get off the beach, off the bloody beach, and give the buggers hell." And at that point he was wounded, but he carried on. And then he met his end on this fateful day. And there were some 30 altogether. I'm not sure why there's only 15 here. I don't know where the rest are buried, but on that day, that was an awful day's fighting, and about 250 soldiers got killed around that incident on the day. So bless them all. Thank you, boys, for our freedom. But if anybody thought Normandy was an easy thing, I've got a podcast coming up with a chap called Doug Gray, Military Medal. I've got his diary pages written for 2 months over the Normandy campaign, and I can't begin to tell you how awful the fighting was during that period. But there we have it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Look forward to speaking to you again sometime. Bye for now. Cheerio.